This is 20 in a row, man.
20 in a row.
Not 20, but almost 20.
Oh, Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the zone. Filip Hrgovic, can I just say thank you because maybe it isn't 20, but I know you've done a lot of interviews today. How are you
Yeah.
feeling? Tired?
Feeling great, man. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's good to see you. Lovely backdrop where you are. Look, 2 weeks away, just over 2 weeks until your fight with David Adeleye in Riyadh. Are you surprised that this is your next fight after that win over Joe?
Yes, a little bit, to be honest. It wasn't planned and it came from nowhere. And I got a good offer and I accepted. But yeah, it was maybe a little bit of surprise because he wasn't mentioned, in anywhere. And little bit of surprise, yeah, but I think it's a good fight. And when they offered me, I said yes. It's good fight for me, and good opponent.
What impresses you about David?
Nothing.
Not one thing.
Nothing impressed me about him. I think he's a decent fighter. He's a good name and good for me to be in a ring. Quick after Joyce fight to get that activity, and I got a good offer, and it's a good fight for me, and I think he's a good fighter.
Yeah, I know on Monday he done a few interviews and said that his punch power is enough to knock out a horse. Now, there's no doubt he's a powerful guy, but do you see him as one of the most powerful in the division or not?
No, man. Yeah, look, I faced much more harder punchers. They didn't knock me out, so it's not about only about power. It's about skill. It's about timing. It's about speed. It's about a lot of things. And there's are levels in boxing. So we'll see. I don't think so. He can, even if he caught me clear, that he can knock me out, because I wasn't knocked out by Zhang, by Dubois, by almost 150 fights in my career. Never was knocked out. And but like I said, it's not only about power. It's a lot of things, and there are levels in boxing. So I think he never been in a ring with someone like me, and I'm confident I'm beat him. And but I'm ready for a good fight.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned levels because I was going to ask as my next question. It's been 2 years since he lost to Fabio Wardley. Do you think he's a different man in those 2 years, or has he just not fought anybody at the level of Fabio, any of the world guys? Is he a different man since that defeat, or is he the same guy but hasn't fought any one of the kind of upper echelons?
I don't even consider Fabio Wardley world level, like elite level. I sparred with him few years ago, and he didn't have a good amateur career. He's a I don't consider him a great fighter world level.
Would you say Fabio's fringe world level, European? Where would you place Fabio?
I don't consider him, world level. Maybe I don't know how I'll describe that, but he's definitely not world level. And we saw against Huni, he was outboxed, and he's just not a world level fighter, and no experience, no amateur background, and he destroyed Adeleye, he destroyed Adeleye. So, uh, but we'll see on August 16th, and I'm ready for anything, and I'm training really hard, and it will be a good fight.
I know that Joyce is David's main sparring partner. What sort of things do you think he'll be getting from Joe? What tips do you reckon Joe will be maybe passing on to David?
I don't know. I don't know what he can learn from sparring Joe Joyce, and I don't
Do
know.
you
He's a
understand?
great.
Do you understand why he's chosen Joe Joyce? Or
I don't know. Joe Joyce. It's not great sparring partner. Not same style like myself, and but with partners, you always struggle. You never can. You rarely can find a perfect guy. So you always struggle with that, and he was probably available, and willing to help him, and but I don't think so. He'll gain something special from Joe Joyce.
well, final one on this before we talk about a couple of other heavyweight topics. I mean, you don't have to give me an exact prediction, but if you can, tell us, without giving too much away, how does the fight end between you and David?
Big KO first, taking his soul, and then knocking him out.
Okay, I like to hear it. I've heard good fighting stuff from the pair of you, so I can't wait for August the 16th. What do you make of Moses Atama versus Dillian Whyte at the top of that bill?
Good fight. Good fight. Good test for Itauma, and just question is what shape will Dillian Whyte show up, because he didn't fought in a long time. He wasn't so active, and he's old. So if he come in a great shape, he can. It can be a good fight. It's a good test.
What do you think will happen if you had to predict?
Well, I don't know. If this Itauma is faster, is more skillful, and he probably is southpaw, and he'll probably outbox him. But Dylan White is tough, and he's coming forward, and if he survive, 5 6 rounds, he can put a good test for him.
Okay, moving on to Usyk versus Dubois. I'm going to ask you straight up, no beating around the bush. Do you think Daniel Dubois quit, Philip?
He didn't quit. He was just knocked out, man. It was a big shot, big counter punch, and Usyk just outclassed him, outboxed him, and knocked him out. And Usyk is just a great fighter. You can't, talk so much bad about Dubois, because he just faced, one of the greatest fighters ever.
Who deserves the shot next at Oleksandr Usyk for you?
I mean, if you look as a from a sport boxing perspective, it's Joseph Parker who deserved the shot the most. But if you look at the business side, it's probably, or like he mentioned, Joshua or Fury for third time, or Jake Paul. And I think in Joseph Parker deserved the most, but just is question: is it gonna happen because of business side of sport? It's not so big fight like if he's fighting, Fury or Joshua. It's not so much money, so we'll see what happens. But Joseph definitely deserve that, and I'll hope so. It will happen. I hope so. It will be fair, and he'll get his chance.
I remember you wanted the IBF to order the purse bid in 2022 for you and Alexander Usyk. What would have happened between you two 3 years ago had that fight been ordered?
I don't know. I think better guy would win.
Would,
That's
would
for
you have knocked
sure.
Usyk out in 2022?
I don't know. I'm every fight I'll go. I'm confident I'll win. Even Usyk, even any fight I'll go. I'm confident that I win. So I will go for a win. But he's of course a great fighter. And I don't know what will happen. But I'm confident I can beat anyone.
Final one. You mentioned his name and then you laughed a little bit. Are you interested in Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul?
No, no, that's terrible, terrible fight, and I think it's never gonna happen. I think Joshua really can, injure him seriously, and it's really dangerous for Jake Paul. I think he's not even serious about that fight. He's just talking to get attention, but he will never accept that fight. It's too dangerous.
How quickly do you think that fight could end? Whenever Joshua wants, or
One round, most big, big KO. Big KO. Joshua is a fucking beast, man, and this guy is a clown. So Joshua has a lot of power, and I think it will be really bad. I think they shouldn't allow that fight.